Hello everybody, Attack Power here with another deck building video here in Steel Division 2 with 2nd Panzer. If you guys enjoy these, smash that like button, subscribe, and check out that YouTube membership or Patreon down below. Thanks a bunch, guys. It really does help out. So, 2nd Panzer. This is a unique division is uniquely powerful and yet uniquely exploitable, like few divisions in the game truly are. So, the division gets a bonus that essentially every unit in the division gets extra veterancy. I think except the airplanes. I'm pretty sure every other unit in this division gets bonus veterancy. So you'll notice on here, like, everything is vetted up and it's fabulous. Oh, sorry, supply is also not vetted. It's a beautiful sight. It truly is. But there is one fundamental and pretty backbreaking weakness that this division has that's easy to miss on, a first glance. And that's you get no armor, like true armor, in A phase. No tanks, no light tanks. You get the light recon units like the SPWs and the Pumas and such, and that feels like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. Except it really isn't. It really does not actually fill the gap of having no armor whatsoever in A phase. So that is definitely the big, deck building conundrum with this division, is that you obviously want to get to the later stages of the game where you get the tons and tons of just super powered, vetted up units. But you have to survive A phase, and whenever you're playing against an experienced player who knows what they're coming up against, it's very easy to get a huge lead in the beginning, and it's just so hard to get back in. And that's why we don't see this division played much at all in league games and in tournament play, because, unless you are second picking and your opponent really picked a kind of a weak A phase division, you really are going to struggle at high levels of play with this division. But if you are just hopping in the queue, and you're playing, mid-tier against, newer players or mid-tier players, this division can be quite powerful and does hold a lot of strength. I have a feeling it's probably really good in 10v10 because, again, all that free veterancy and lots of Panthers. So let's dive in here, though. So the Recon tab is absolutely cracked. I mean, it's really good. You get so much cool stuff. We have the SPW line. So SPW 231, 233. There's really no reason not to take them. We are double vetting all these because, again, they come auto single vetted. We don't really need 6 SPW 233s. And the double vet really does enhance these guys' performance. Like, single vetting obviously makes all the units better. Double vetting is just so strong, and so much stronger, and because then a singular leader can make these guys into 3 vet units, and that's so powerful. Then we have 2 cards of Pumas. Now, I'm not taking 2 cards of Pumas because I really think I'm going to use 10 Pumas, because you're probably not. There's a fundamental issue with the Puma ever since its nerf a few months ago. It's just a really cost-inefficient unit. So, this is 50 points. You pay less for a Panzer III, and you pay 5 points more for a T-3476. And a T-3476 slaps this thing around comedically. The problem is this thing dies in one hit to most medium tanks. And, the gun itself, while it's the same as a Panzer III gun, the Panzer III gun is efficient but not amazing. You're going to struggle to kill medium tanks, which is basically what this unit is priced at, it's a lower cost medium tank. And you're really going to struggle to actually trade profitably against this. So any tank is going to bully this thing around so easily. And the problem with the gun is, the shell itself only does 6 damage, which means it takes 2 hits to kill even light armor and stuff, which is a big problem. So that is the big issue with the Puma. It is a phenomenal transport sniper. You get at the beginning 85 kilometers an hour. You get the nice shell and everything. The APCR looks nice, but the fact is it takes 4 penetrations to kill something like a medium tank with this, and that's just unacceptable when your unit dies in 1 shot from a medium tank. It's not good. So that is the problem with the Puma. We're taking 2 just because I kind of had the cards free. I don't know. Part of me just wants to do this and throw more armor in somewhere. Does the deck really need more tanks? You'll think, yes, of course, but the fact is it doesn't really. But maybe a Panther D with the Recon there, the Afklada Panther D is nice. It's really nice that these can function independently, so we'll go with that for the heck of it. Or you know what, maybe... Just kidding. We don't need more Panthers. We'll go on Afklada, an A-phase Afklada. Reason being, it is nice to sprinkle these around and just get that easy recon. Yes, obviously these things are all spotting, but they die off pretty quick, and then all of a sudden you're left with oop, I don't have any recon. And then B-phase, more Afklada, because I want to be able to see. I'm also bringing the SDKFZ because why not? And the SDKFZ 250/9, some more auto canning, because actually we only have this 1 card of auto canning unit, and they can be really good support-wise. What we're not taking, SDKFZ 250/8. I actually like this unit. I think is really solid. The problem is it does not have the heat shells on it, so it's just a support gun for all intents and purposes, and it's a support gun that dies really easily. So that's why we're not taking any over this stuff. The SPW 233 does the same thing, just much better because it has the heat and the AP shells. Spare troop, hate these things. They reveal themselves too often. Their availability curve is whatever. I think it's finally like the same as an Aufklärer, but it's also 5 points more, and I never want this thing to fight, so there's really no reason to take it. The second card of Puma we took out. We do not need more Panzer IVs, I promise. When we see the tank tab, you'll see there are plenty of Panzer IVs to go around. And we talked about the Panther D. The Aufklärer is really nice. Not necessary, but it is nice. So, infantry. I mean, it's a standard Panzer infantry tab. There's not much special here. You do get a Volksdeutsche squad here, which is right here. Volksdeutsche, these used to be legitimately one of the best units in the game because they're essentially a cheap Panzergren, MG34 Panzergren with a Panzerfaust. So tons of upgrades for only 25 points and, half decent availability. The issue nowadays is disheartened is now like a real negative. Before it really was like, it's disheartened, big whoop. It actually does not matter that much. Now it matters a lot. Like, it does make this unit function a lot less well. You'll find this unit loses to most infantry squads, even sometimes squads that don't have double MGs this unit can lose to. So it's definitely a problem, but it is your cheapest rifleman unit to bring in. It does help you survive a phase. I wouldn't not take it, but do be aware these things do not hold up the way they used to in any sort of way. Then we're taking Sturm Pioneers, because why not? Panzergrens, and again, beautifully double vet. I am still single vetting this. Yeah, no, I mean, you get 79 infantry, which for a balanced deck is plenty. Although, yeah, we'll put them at single. Reason being, there's a reason for this. A phase, I run out of stuff. And there's actually, like, not much else in A phase to bring in because of the way the deck is, restricted in terms you can't bring, like, expensive armor and stuff. So you're forced to bring in lots of cheaper stuff. So having more infantry actually in A phase will probably be pretty helpful. B phase, Pioneers, double vet, Panzergren, double vet, Pioneer, double vet in C, and Panzergren, double vet in C. Unfortunately, no room for a leader. You don't need one, obviously. But, getting these guys up to triple vet would be really nice. The tank tab. So there's not like a ton unique here, but it is. That doesn't make it bad. You have Panthers, you have Panzer IVs, we have Stug 3s. So Panzer IV-J is a nice little upgrade on the Panzer IV-H because you get slightly more availability. They cost 5 points less. They do basically the same thing. I believe the turret turns slower. I believe that's the issue with it, if I'm remembering correctly. The Panzer, it definitely has lower side. Oh, no, it should have. Okay, riddle me this. Panzer IV clearly have side skirts. The Panzer IV-J does not, and yet the side armor is identical. Oh, Eugen, why? Eugen, why? Why? Just why? I thought that was the difference. I honestly thought the difference was this one has higher side armor and this one does not, but they're identical. The Panzer IV-J definitely has a slower turning speed then, which arguably could lead you to take the Panzer IV-H instead. If there are balance changes in the future, this might be something to consider doing. I'll do it here just because. Now, in C phase, though, Panzer IV-H has a pretty significant lower availability. Like, you get, 5 less? That's a lot. And with me planning to go along with this deck and not bringing, like, tons and tons of medium tank cards, this I do believe is the right choice. Then we're taking the Panzer IV-H leader, because leaders are nice. Could take the Stug 3, but you only get 2, and this one you get 4, so might as well. The Stug is obviously better. We could take the Stug over the Panzer IV-H here, but 10 points is starting to become a difference. And Stugs are better, but I still find they die most of the time in the same situations that the Panzer IV would die. Arguable, I understand, but that's my own bias there. Panther A. Panther A's are Panther A's. They're Panthers. They do Panther-y things. C-Phase, 2 cards of Panther A's, 1 leader because we have it, and 1 non-leader. So we have a nice 10 Panthers here to work with. Truth be told, in 1v1, if you're burning through 10 Panthers, I don't see you winning. It's just a lot of points to be losing if you're really losing that many. The slots past that really do get expensive, and I don't think you need more than, what is this, 40-some tanks? 40 tanks, 39 tanks, so I don't think you need more than that. Support tab. phenomenal. You get so many cool units in this. Flammenwerfer, IG-18, MG-42, and IG-33 all here in A phase. Basically like a perfect Axis division support tab here. And then B phase supply, and you get the Guerrilla Alsh H here, which is by all intents and purposes a Guerrilla, you know, with different armor, I think. One thing I would like to take, I'm not going to lie, is the Borgward. I saw this, we saw this in play in a replay a little while back, and it actually looked like pretty good. Like, and I was up against third VDV where everything shoots at like 100-meter range, which means when this dies, it blows up and kills whatever killed it, which is really good, honestly. So, you know, for memes, I'd love to fit this in. No, competitively, you should not. But for memes, yeah, it would be pretty fun. You do not need these guys. Yes, they would help your Volkdeutsch, but that's literally the only unit. And it's just, it's not worth those slots. The Flammenpanzer 251, the issue is, again, the range is not high enough. So this dies to all the bazookas and Panzerschrecks, and honestly, a lot of times to the PTRDs and things of the world. So it just doesn't, and we're not that, I mean, we are desperate for CQC, but we're not desperate enough to waste a beautiful support slot on this. We do not need a commander. There's absolutely no reason for it. If I had more leaders, there's still no reason for it because the units come in so high veterancy anyway. Your second veterancy is completely away. So this is a really redundant set of units here. There's really no reason to take them. AT tab. There's not a lot going on here. Like on top of the already issue of having no tanks in A phase, there's no light AT here to help you out either. So it's not even like you have a nice card of pack 38s or something to toss around to help you kind of stymie the bleeding or, you know, stem the onslaught in A phase. You got nothing. You have pack 40s, which you have to take both of them. You have to take at least 2 cards in A phase. Why? Because this is it. This is your AT in A phase. No, these don't do AT duty for real. So your literal only A phase defense against tanks and armored vehicles for the most part are your Panzerschrecks, which you only get 1 card of. You don't even get 2 to go A-B phase. You get 1 card of, and then pack 40s. So it's pretty brutal. I don't know. I feel like I fixed this 100 times, and every time I save this deck, it's still like not correct. You know, your pack 40s are a very precious and important commodity, and they die really easily. Pack 40s are good, you know, stat-wise, statistically on the paper, they are really good. In practice, I'm sure we all watched, they are not like killing machines by any stretch of the imagination. They are pretty easily overwhelmed. They are 60 points, which is the same cost as an actual medium tank itself. Where you get value in a pack 40 is when they kill heavy tanks, right? When you pick up a Tiger, a Panther, T-34-85, you know, any of those sort of units, a Firefly, when they kill one of those, then you're getting serious value out of this unit. It's like, okay, now I just seriously traded up. The problem is with pricier AT guns, such as the Pack 40, which isn't like expensive, but it is on the pricey side, right? This is not cheap. Like a Pack 38 is 45 points. Your M45s, 35 points. Even your 6-pounders are only 50 points or 45 points, depending on what kind of loadout they have. You know, 60 points is now more than the cost of many medium tanks, right? So it's more than the cost of T-34-76, and it's only 5 points less than a Panzer IV variant that isn't the H variant. It's getting hard. It gets harder and harder to profitably trade with the unit, and that's why having these as your only defense in A phase is pretty brutal. And you can't really upvet them to 2-vet because you actually need 6. Like, you're going to need all of these. Jagdpanzer IV, I love the Jagdpanzer IV. I just can't. There's no space here for it, and it's not necessary. It's only got 10 millimeters more penetration than the Panzer IV, so they're killing the same stuff. Yes, it's really good against allied divisions, but the fact is, against allied divisions, you already have the Panther anyway, which tends to match up really well against those. And you get the extra range in the Panther and everything. Now, this is only 95 points. If I could fit it, honestly, I would, because I do like Jagdpanzers, even in their less good form of the A0. I'm trying to like see what I would even take out. Maybe one of these. Maybe one of the recon units. Like, if you don't feel like you need the second card of Aufklaudos, by all means, take them out. And then you would have the 2 points to put into the Jagdpanzer IV here, which I'm not saying is wrong. I'm just not doing it myself. I value seeing things more importantly, and the Aufklaudos do die. And I just find watching enough people play this game, knowing what your opponent is doing is more important than having another card of like good tanks when you have plenty of other tanks. AA tab. It's fine. It's actually not like phenomenal, but the extra veterancy helps this tab more than most. So you get your Flak 38s here. Again, they're still terrible, but they come with the second vehicle, so you're calling in 2 at a time at 70 points with double vet, and you get 4 of them. So you can get a pretty large number of these out relatively early. You know, you call 2 cards of these in on one section of the map. You have 4 Flak 38s. That actually will kill things somewhat relatively consistently at double vet, especially if you put a leader next to these and now they're triple vet. You know, that is actually a somewhat dangerous pile of AA. So, and it's spread out, so it's hard to like kill. You know, if you're moving your AA just a little bit, you know, you should be able to dodge most arty and stuff. It's not the worst. It is not the worst. Then we have the Flak 37. I feel like all of a sudden these are meta again. I don't think they are personally, but I've seen a lot of players using them. I would still love to see these go down to like 110 points. At 110 points, there might be a strong argument to using them, but they still get absolutely shellacked and beaten by any RD piece. You know, RD just destroys these things in the most real and visceral way. It's pretty brutal. You know, you could bring in more 20 mils. That is an option. Like, you can bring 2 cards of these instead and have like 8, 16, 20 mils, which seems ridiculous, but, you know, for how mid these are, that might be the way to go if you really want AA. The thing is, this is a little bit more AT. Remember, we have really no AT in A phase. This is a really expensive and desperate another AT piece. You know, if it's a 2K map, it's a Sliss or something, at least you got something in A phase. It's not a good something, but it is a something. And B phase, we get some good AA here. The SDK at 7-1. At 1 vet, if you put a leader next to this thing's absolutely deadly. Very good unit to take. Arty tab. Great Arty tab. A lot of good options. Unfortunately, no rocket artillery. Definitely a bummer. But we're just taking the mortar. I think they all come in at 1 vet. I'm pretty sure that's not like a bonus. Right? Do they? I cannot remember. We're going to hop out really quick. I know this is like awkward. I'm going to see also if that saves that rebuild of that. These guys must have a mortar. Oh yeah, no, there's no vet on that. Okay, all right. So you do get the bonus, the vet bonus there, a little bit faster firing. Let's see if we just do this, that, and down we go. Oh, really? The ones are still first? You're kidding me, right? Oh, come on, bruh. Cheese and crackers. Anyway, so yeah, you do get the extra fire rate there. Okay, but it's not going to show me. It's going to be a jerk. Yeah, you get up to 10. It's not anything crazy, but it is a little bonus there. Then we're taking the Bachelor Fear. I do want some leaders. Like 4 of them is not many, but it is nice to get your units up to 3 vet. It seems really strong. And then you still get the radio, of course. And, you know, if you happen to throw these next to your Hummel, then that's good. I am taking the Hummel. It gets the veterancy bonus here. Unfortunately, you still can't double vet them effectively. You know, we're taking it over the FH-18 here. I mean, the Hummels, the performance in these has been improved pretty dramatically. They should be, like, on par with these now. So having these be mobile and stuff does mean they are far more effective at counter battery, because as long as you're moving them, they shouldn't really die. And you can get them way closer to the front line safely. So that's why I'm taking the Hummel. I'm starting to use these more often in more aggressive situations. I've been finding, you know, the trend seems to be get your arty a little bit closer to the front line and reap the benefits. Things we're not taking, the Bale Boxer, don't need it. Mortar, why take it over the half track? These are absolute trash. The Vespa, it's still terrible. You could take a C-phase card, double vet though, but it's still terrible. Like, it's so bad. SK-18, I mean, the truth is, with single vet, these things are cooking a little bit. I just couldn't find room. I mean, if you don't feel like you need a leader, but then by all means take this. This mortar is 15 points cheaper for essentially you just get less shells. That's literally the difference. There is no other difference at all. So 15 points is a lot for 15 extra shells, but the fact is it does come up. You know, this unit will run out of ammo really fast in A phase. This one will generally get through A phase all by itself. So, and yeah, those are our already options. Air tab, not much to say here. Focke-Wulfs in variations and some JUs. I am taking the FI 156 for a little bit of recon here, and then B phase we have the Focke-Wulf 190G 3R5, which I do not like because it is bad resilience. Like, it's not even like good medium resilience. G1 is the same issue. You get a big bomb, but bad resilience at 485 kilometers an hour. The paint scheme on this is pretty sick, but yeah, it's just not very good. We could take the Ju-88, like fast, very good resilience. It's not super fast, but it's very good resilience stuff. I don't know. I always go back and forth. These are like expendable. You just throw them out and they die. This obviously survives a little bit more, but it's a lot bigger of a commitment. Like at the beginning of the game, it's nice to think, oh, I got 30 points left over. Let's just buy 2 recon and see what's going on. I like that aspect of it, but they are easy to shoot down and stuff. Ju-88 fighter, the worst thing ever. Don't use it. Focke-Wulf at 190 F8. It's okay. It's definitely like, it's better than a Soviet fighter for the most part. It does have medium resilience. The loadout is solid. It's not above the curve. It's not below the curve. Like it's one of the most mid fighters. It's not bad. It's not good. It's a little slow to catch faster things. That's the big issue with it. I don't think you need it. The AA tab is pretty solid. But if you're worried, you could definitely slot the fighter in for the recon plane. And the Ju-88 bomber here, it's good. The availability curve is not great. And the bomb loadout is nothing like spectacular, which is why I'm not taking it, but it is a good bomber overall. So yeah, 2nd Panzer, a very strong division, but extremely exploitable, and you have to be very careful with this division and very purposeful in its choice because, again, catch this thing on the wrong, and it's not good. I mean, it's terrible at CQC, obviously, but you know, catch this against an aggressive division or a player playing Vanguard or even Maverick, which is super common, of course. It's a tough row. It is. It's a really tough life, and you're usually playing catch up. If you guys enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe, check out that Patreon, YouTube membership, all that good stuff. Thanks a bunch, everybody, and have a fantastic day.